a mark on my face, and I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, ain't no matter, you're just the same. I still got the world. I still got the world. I still got the world.
I said, can I be a legend? Search your soul and answer me this question. Do you think I have what it takes to be great, but still be humble and learn from my mistakes? Shit.
Welcome back, everyone, and good night to your favorite sports show. This is indeed This Just In. I am the Justin of This Just In. Sorry, there is no Marsha or Neil tonight, but who we do have, I think all guys are accustomed now to my guy Joe Morley, and we have a new person to the show. We have Matt from Talk Smack with Matt. Introduce yourself, Matt, first of all. You have it muted, Mac. I'm almost certain.
My bad on everybody. It's your boy, Mac. Yeah, man, I run Talk Smack with Mac on YouTube, Podbean, and Instagram. Make sure you check me out. Justin, I really appreciate you letting me get on This Just In, and especially with my boy Joe, man. Joe has been talking good stuff for since the beginning, since I started. So I'm excited to talk to you guys.
I forgot I should not have brought Joe on because the one reason I wanted my Packers to win was to rub it in Joe's face. And oh my God, this was not the time to bring Joe on. I should have waited like 2 months or something like that and bring him back on the show. So quickly, Joe, yes, I know some of my fans already know you. Also introduce yourself, Joe. Oh, we have that issue again. You are muted, Joe.
Oh, look, we're just making mistakes. I apologize.
No worries.
The name of the game.
Hey, at least I wasn't the only one, huh, Mac? Hey, I'm not going to give you a hard time on your Packers. It was a good game. I like the Packer game. But if you guys don't know me already, Morley Sports, you guys can find me at Joe Morley Sports on all platforms, and Friday Night Wars, where I host the show with Mike and Mike on Friday Night Wars. But yeah.
Well, speaking of finding people, now all of a sudden we can find Matt Stafford in a different location, being that Los Angeles. Guys, it seems like Los Angeles gave up a huge kitty to get Matt Stafford. So guys, break down the trade. First, did Los Angeles give up too much to get Matt Stafford? I'm going to start with you, Matt.
I definitely think that they gave up too much. When throwing the fact that Jared Goff was the number one overall pick himself, 2 firsts, and a 3rd. That's a lot of draft capital for a guy who I think Matthew Stafford, he's one hell of a player. Do not get me wrong. But a guy on the wrong side of 30, and that means that puts the pressure on the Rams to win now. If they don't win now, it was all for nothing.
Yeah, I agree. That's a lot to give up. 2 first-round picks, and 2 first-round picks, and Jared Goff. Like, I don't care what people say about Jared. He's a serviceable, good quarterback. Like, and if you look at his stats compared to Matthew Stafford, I mean, I like Matthew Stafford. I think it's an upgrade, but how big of an upgrade is a 2 first-round picks worth? I don't know about that. Yeah.
And don't forget, is what, a 3rd-round pick as well, right? 2 firsts, a 3rd, and Jared Goff, right?
Yes, that's huge haul. Huge haul. But if the Rams think they're one guy or one small upgrade at quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl, you make that trade.
That's what I was about to ask, guys. So, if you think that you're just a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl, and obviously you didn't get Deshaun Watson, is this haul not worth it?
If you're one quarterback away, and it doesn't. I don't think it matters what quarterback you bring. Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford, whoever you brought in, you think that's the guy. You think that's the one missing piece that you had. If you win the Super Bowl, no matter what you gave up, worth it. I think it is. But if you don't, you just gave away your whole future for what? For another because you can go to the playoffs and lose with Jared Goff. We already seen that. We've seen that. And lose with them. We know you could do that. But you just gave up a lot. And not only that, this isn't a first round pick this year. These are first round picks in 2022 and 23. These are 2 years, 3 years away that you don't even know where your franchise is going to be by then. And man, I'm still in disbelief of how much they gave up, but I don't know how much this improved the Rams to even make them I don't even think they can win their own division next year.
Yeah, they can't even. You think they can't even win their own division, and now they don't have the draft capital to go and make their team better. They don't have money to go and make their team better. So this is the best that it gets for the Rams, and now they made their window so small and so little room for error that if they don't win next year, the next 5 or 10 years could be, washed because of this trade.
No, and the thing is, right, initially I was a fan of the trade just because they got rid of Jared Goff's contract, which I thought was like the second or third worst contract in all of football behind Carson Wentz. So I was initially a fan of the contract until I realized the Rams don't have a first-round pick, or their last first-round pick was the same Jared Goff in 2016, and they don't have a first-round pick until 2024, meaning that you're going to go through 7 straight drafts without a first-round pick. Now, ideally, when I look at their major players, all of them are under contract up until 2023. That being obviously Stafford, Aaron Donald, Cam Akers, who's just a rookie. Both receivers, I want to say Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. That's the name I'm getting correct. And tackles, the left tackle, Andrew Whitworth, and the other tackle on the right side. I think every major player, Jalen Ramsey, I think everybody is signed up to 2023. So as you all correctly said, it is like you have to win in that 2-year window. And you don't have to look very far to see how bad it's going to look down the road, because you have to look no further than New England and the Philadelphia Eagles, who mortgaged their futures to win Super Bowls and did not have good draft capital afterwards. And I agree, because we know with good teams, you use draft picks to compensate for when you have cap casualties, because the cap is going down next season and you are going to lose good players due to cap casualties. And typically you use first-round picks to, replace those players. They better win now. They better win between 2022 2023, or this is going to look very bad. If they think that New England and Philadelphia looks bad, just wait 24.
Yeah, definitely. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. And if they go out and say a couple players get injured next year and they don't even make the playoffs, this is really a dumpster fire then.
So I want to get to Joe's point, because I'm going to ask quickly. Do you both not think, or do you all think that the acquisition of Matthew Stafford does not make this team a Super Bowl contender?
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm not going to go as far as writing them off right now. I think they're in a tough division with 3 good teams. The Seattle's always contending. San Francisco was hurt this year, and they still won 7 games. And Arizona's a rising team. So that division alone, you have to do it. Then you got to worry about Matthew Stafford and his injuries, and hopefully that his back's 100% and your offensive line can keep up. So look where they ended up this year. They were what? They were second in the division, right? So they didn't win the division. So then they lost in the playoffs with Jared Goff. So I'm not going to write them completely off. I'm just going to say they're a borderline playoff team that could eventually make noise as of right now. We got to see what else they add. But, yeah, that's where I would put them as of right now.
So the problem with this team is that they traded away all their assets. They have no assets. The only thing that they have are players under contract, like he mentioned. So when the other 3 teams in the division that Joe just said are great teams or really good teams, all of those teams are still having their draft picks. They're still making those teams better. They're still improving. If Seattle goes out and gets an offensive lineman or 2, they're going to be damn near unstoppable in themselves. So when you throw in the fact that they just got to get out their division, the win now mentality is not working for them because they're battling against other people that are still succeeding. Tom Brady still has another year or 2 in Tampa Bay. So it's like, come on now. What do you guys do?
I kind of forgot that.
And what people aren't forgetting is, I just read the comments. Somebody in the live chat just said, What about the Rams defense? Well, you got to remember now they don't have the money to sign anybody else. 6 players, that's including Jared Goff, are going to make over $100 million out of that $175 million, if that's the number that they're going to go with this year. So they're already over. So now you have to hit on 46 more players or 47 more players that you have to hit, and hopefully they pay off. And the starting safety, Johnson, is a free agent. So do you got enough money to bring him in? Because you haven't been able to sign free agents the last couple of years. And that's what the draft picks were good at. And I was trying to tell people about when you draft people first round, you get them for 5 years. And guess what? You get them cheap. And that's your window. And the Rams are doing something and I think we're questioning it more. We're wondering what the Rams are doing more because we've never seen it. We've never seen a team go 7 years without a first round pick. Basically, Sean McVay, and I'll say it right now. I don't think I've ever said this. Sean McVay is basically making his own football money ball right now. He's trying to show you a different way to win. Is it working? It has been. They haven't had first round picks and they're winning. But how long we've never seen it. So, I mean, we can knock it all we want, but basically, if they win a Super Bowl, he's going to make us all look stupid.
Well, he better win one within the next 2 seasons because I'm telling you, having seen Philadelphia and having seen New England, what they are now, that is essentially their future. There may be another upshot of this trade. Do you all believe that what has happened here between LA and Detroit will impact any possible trades with Deshaun Watson possibly leaving Houston?
100%. When you see the haul for Matthew Stafford is Jared Goff, former number 1 overall pick, 2 first-round picks, and a third-round pick. Okay, what does the younger, better guy get? So right there, I'm the demanded 3 first-round picks that was initially announced by Houston for Deshaun Watson. That was like their bare minimum, right? I thought that was crazy. And then this Stafford trade happened.
So to give context to this, there have been 2 reports coming out of Houston. Obviously, they have all said publicly that they have no interest in trading Deshaun Watson. But privately in the camp, apparently the asking prices, and I'll tell you all to sit back in your chairs right now while you hear this, 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and 2 defensive starters. What's your feeling there, Joe? Because I see you shaking your head.
Who's going to give that up? Who has? First of all,
somebody will.
Which, if you're the Jets, let's just say the Jets, because that's always the name that's connected to them. Okay, the Jets have the draft capital, but what 2 defensive stars do you have to give up? You're not a good team right now. You have the number 2 pick in the draft for a reason. You're not a good team. So if you're going to give up multiple draft picks plus players to bring in one, are we now saying that one guy makes the whole team? Because that's what you're going to say. You're going to say Deshaun Watson is better than my whole entire roster that I will, and he will go out and win me. He doesn't. And the Deshaun Watson, he doesn't have to go win a Super Bowl. He just has to turn a franchise around. So the Jets went 3-13 or something like that. I can't remember. It was 3 or 13 or 4. They finally got. But I want to say it was 3 or maybe 2. Maybe it was 2. I don't know. I'm not a Jets fan, so that's thank you. But if you're a Jets fan, you expect them to come and bring you to the playoffs at least to get all that. But I mean, I don't know a team that's willing to risk. I mean, yes, you're bringing in a franchise quarterback, and there's a difference between him and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's 32 years old, 33 years old, where Deshaun Watson's in his 3rd year, going in his 4th year of the NFL career, and you can have him for a lot longer. But you're going to cripple your franchise to bring in a franchise quarterback to hope to build around him, but then have no pieces to be able to build around him.
And that's the funny thing. You are leaving a bad team, and I'm speaking at Deshaun Watson. You're leaving a bad team with no players. And when that team that had to trade for you, they are going to get rid of all their players, putting you in an equally bad situation all over again. But the question you have to ask, because obviously we do believe that 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and 2 defensive starters is a hell of a lot. But I do agree with you, Mac. I do believe somebody is going to make that trade. Well, if Houston is smart enough. As of right now, no, do y'all believe Deshaun Watson will stay in Houston?
I don't think so. Nobody wants to stay there. Andre Johnson, the Texan legend, came out. He said, "Get the hell out." And when he speaks, I mean, he's speaking right from experience. One of the all-time great receivers that would get left behind and not mentioned anymore because he didn't win. Deshaun Watson is seeing that this team is just making bad move after bad move and putting the keys to the franchise in the wrong hands, and the players can only do so much. I would want to get the hell out of there my damn self. And when he's sitting there demanding a trade out or he's going to sit, all right, he's forcing the hand. The Texans need to do something. And if you could capitalize and get a good haul in return, you definitely need to do that.
I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest with you. I think, what are we? We're in January. The draft isn't until April. You don't have to make the move. You could tell him, you can sit on it, and he could tell you, I want to be traded all day. But at the end of the day, he can't do anything because he's under contract. So the team holds everything. And like you said, I don't want to. If I had Deshaun Watson, I don't want to trade him. I want to keep him. But if a team comes and gives me 2 firsts, 2 seconds, two young defensive players, oh yeah, we'll do that because you're building my whole team right in one offseason, and you're going to turn the Houston Texans around. I understand that the Houston Texans have got a bad rap because of 1 year. I understand what their owner did before that. He's dead. Hey, good for him. He's dead. He's gone. Well, now they're turning that franchise around. They got Bill O'Brien out as a GM. They brought in a new GM from the New England Patriots who should know what he's doing. Like it or not, he should know what he's doing. They brought in a new head coach. Like it or not, he's going to try to do his system. So Deshaun Watson, it's a whole new front office. It's a whole new coaching staff that he hasn't even sat down with. I think give him a couple months to calm down, then do it. Go, hey, we don't have enough, and then you can force his hand. Like, what do you want to do? We're not getting the offers that we want to trade you. So you either play or you retire or sit out. It's up to you. And that, what do you do if you're Deshaun Watson in that situation?
See, now, if he were to sit, he's still on his rookie contract. So it's not like he's, blowing a big payday. You sit this year, you don't get injured. You skate through that rookie contract, and then you get some free agency.
No, because remember, he has been paid. I can't remember what the massive extension was, but it was a 5-year.
Already?
Yeah, he inked that this offseason.
Oh,
and,
damn.
And then that kicks in at the start of next season. So, he can't. Yeah, that's a huge payday.
That's a big payday. Yeah, he's going to be missing
But remember, if he sits, he loses a year of eligibility. So that rookie contract gets kicked back. And he's still on his rookie contract. So he does lose money. He'll lose money. He's not losing $33 million. He'll lose whatever that contract is, but he'll lose a year of eligibility, which means he's still on the team for another. I mean, if he wants traded at the end of the – but he just signed that new contract. He just signed it, 5 months ago. So where was all this 4 or 5 months ago? This is when hey, Deshaun, if you're watching the show, which I'm sure you are, if you're watching, you should have brought this up at your contract negotiations. This is when you said, hey, if you do not do this, I want out. Because I guess he was saying like he wants to be part of the front office and the coaching hire. He should have made it clear right there. Like, if you don't make me part of this, I do not want to be in Houston anymore. But you signed it and everybody goes, oh, it's all good. Everything in the past is in the past. I mean, if you made up with somebody, he made up with his girl, a bad relationship that he was in, and he signed that because money talks for some reason. He made up with it and he forgave everything that Houston did up until that point. That's how I'm taking it. So everything that happened from there to now is like, Deshaun, you can't bring anything up because you signed that contract when you should have brought all these issues up.
The thing is, I kind of agree with you both. But here's the thing. If I'm Houston, and clearly this is a very bad organization, we won't go into how bad this is. I don't mess this up in that clearly he doesn't want to play, and you don't want to obviously start pressing players start dictating where they're going and what they're doing. As Joe said, especially when you just ink a massive 5-year contract extension. But here's the thing, though. If I can leverage both Miami and the New York Jets against themselves, and I can get, because again, the starting point is 2 first, 2 seconds, and 2 defensive starters. Imagine if I can leverage them against each other and get a 3rd first added into that kitty. There is no way that I am turning that down. And as I'm trying to remember, Mike Tannenbaum, former Detroit general manager, was saying today on both Get Up on Sports Center, now is the time to strike because we just saw the Matt Stafford haul, and these teams are itching to get Deshaun Watson. Like, for me, I don't know. Like, I agree with both you because, in my estimation, Deshaun has 0 leverage after signing that contract. And I also agree with you, Matt. Like, he doesn't want to play, so let's move him. The longer you wait, because it's clear that Deshaun is willing to sit out a year, the longer you wait, in my estimation at least, the offers are going to get smaller. So it's straight right now, especially when you know that there are teams that want to battle each other for Deshaun Watson. You can imagine I'm going to New York and say, yeah, this is what he wants. And Miami said, oh, no. Can't have Deshaun Watson playing against us in our division. I don't know, guys. What do y'all think?
Yeah, well, after learning that he signed a contract, I don't know how I forgot that. It puts a bad taste in my mouth for Deshaun Watson. You know, like Joe said, once you sign that command, that the organization came through and gave you the money. Now you got to back it up. But nonetheless, I don't think that they're going to get the 2 first, 2 second, and the 2 defense starters because of the teams that you mentioned, the Dolphins and the Jets. They both have young quarterbacks that I assume would be a part of the deal if they were to be the ones to, try to trade for Watson. So how much compensation does Sam Darnold give you or does Tua give you? How much is that going to be replaced in the trade demands?
Well, I'm said I'm with you, Justin. If somebody comes with that deal, you better you take that. You better sign it before they change their mind. You better take
Before
it and
they
go.
back out, like, yeah, thanks.
But if somebody comes with just like 1 first round pick for Deshaun Watson, I'm not on because this is what. Okay, his new contract doesn't kick in until next year, until 2022. So he's still going to make 15 million next year. But if they trade him, they have to take they're going to have to take a dead salary cap of like $5 million. So, or no, they're going to say, no, they're going to, yeah. So they're going to add $5 million to their salary cap for trading him. So now I want compensation for that. So I understand where they're coming from with the compensation, but a team like Miami Dolphins, and that's, we hear the Jets and we hear Miami. Jets, I understand but you got to do something with Sam Darnold. Miami has built their team the correct way the last couple years. So you're telling me that you just spent 3 years doing what you want to get it to this level. You're ready to wreck it to bring one player in. I'm not a big Tua supporter. I'm not a big Tua fan. I think Deshaun Watson in Miami, heck yeah, I'll take that all day. But I heard somebody earlier saying they might give up Xavier Howard for him. Then I'm not on board. Then that changes it for me. So it depends on what Miami gives up. I mean, if you want to do Tua, you give Tua. If you want to give up a first round pick, you give up a first round pick. But once you start touching your defense, which the defense of Miami was winning all your games for you, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, now I'm kind of iffy on Deshaun because I don't want to mess up the defense. I'll give you any guys on offense and I'll give you any draft picks, but you're not taking my defensive guys.
Well, you're making it easy for me to segue into the topics because you mentioned Tua and quarterbacks. Obviously, we're talking to Deshaun Watson, but he's not the only quarterback name that's been coming up, and also with Matt Stafford. We're seeing a situation potentially that 11 teams may have a new starting quarterback next season, up to, about 11 teams. 4 of those have been involved in multiple talks, that being Sam Darnold, as just mentioned, Dak Prescott, Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think I'm missing one more. Oh, and how can I forget our favorite guy, Carson Wentz? So, guys, where do these 4 quarterbacks, in your estimation, end up?
I don't think that Dak is going anywhere. Dak is a badass quarterback. He's very good. Excuse my language, but
No, you're good.
He got the injury. Jerry Jones is going to pay that kid. I'm sure as soon as he got injured, Jerry kind of, in his evil ways, felt a little bad. Like, damn, this kid was he was the difference between us maybe winning the division to being a complete dumpster fire. I think Dak stays home. Carson Wentz is going for sure. The fact that Jimmy Garoppolo has been in trade talks makes me feel like he doesn't even want to stay in San Fran. And who's the last guy that you said? Who am I missing? I'm missing one.
Carson Wentz. No, you said Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz is gone.
Sam Darnold, Carson.
Oh, Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold's staying put until the Jets, do something about it. They could go and get an offensive lineman in the draft. Who knows? I personally think Sam Darnold is pretty good. He's just been in one of the worst situations. So I think you go and protect that kid and give him somewhat of a running game. He might be able to come back for you if they haven't killed his confidence already.
So I'm not going to buy the hype. I'm going to say 3 of them stay put. I'm going to say Sam Darnold, Dak, and Carson Wentz.
Wait. Hold on. 3 of them stay put. I didn't create this show for people to come with these soft things.
I'm not there yet. Jimmy G's gone. And I'm going to mention another quarterback that you didn't bring up. Kirk Cousins takes his spot in San Francisco.
You think so?
Now
I'm liking this now.
Now guess who's in the market for a quarterback? Now Minnesota's in the market for a quarterback. Now will Minnesota be willing to trade some stuff for one of these guys? A team that, who else is in the market? Carolina. Those are the 2 teams I think can be a sleeper in Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. Or even then, once they realize that Sam Darnold is still sitting there, those guys go after him. So I think there has to be a little bit more shakeup before those 3 are even talked about.
Not Chicago, because I'm almost certain the Bears are going to be major players in this quarterback carousel.
The only thing about the Bears, and this is what I try to ask Bear fans, what do the Bears have to give up? They just made the Khalil Mack trade. And I was thinking in my head, like, okay, what if they trade Khalil Mack and some draft picks to Houston and try to get Deshaun Watson back? Bears fans will be happy with that because they'll give up anything for Deshaun Watson. But
after not drafting him.
Yeah, but you just made that big trade a couple years ago, and since that trade, like it or not, you can call me a homer or not, the Bears have gone down since that trade. That trade hurt you, like financially, draft picks, everything hurt you. You were a playoff team, went down. They still made the playoffs, but backdoor, and you could claim it if you want. But they had an extra playoff team this year for you to make it. So the Bears have gone down. So now, do you want to take that chance again? Do you want to take that chance again and hope Deshaun Watson is the answer, was the missing piece over Mitchell Trubisky still? I mean, but yeah, Chicago's in the market too. But I'm just wondering what Chicago has to give up. I mean, do you want to do that as a Chicago fan?
Do y'all know any Chicago fans, though, by the way? So I can stay away from them and don't have them on this show because I was just making sure no one in our chat is actually a Chicago Bears fan because I
do have a Chicago Bears friend. I do.
No, you need to get rid of them.
And Sean just said right here, what about Washington? Washington's in the quarterback market too.
Oh, yes, indeed. And somehow I was hoping for y'all guys to give me something great to go with. And you're telling me y'all expect 3 of these guys to stay home?
I do. Carson Wentz is gone, man. Jalen Hurts came in. He played better. I've never been a big fan of Carson Wentz. And if they can get rid of him, then they should do it. The only thing is, I don't know if the Eagles can trade him.
Yeah, and I don't know what you give up for a guy like Sam Darnold. What do you give up for him? I know, like, you've seen the rumors that the Washington was offering the number 19 pick for Matthew Stafford. Do they offer that for Sam Darnold, or do they try to lowball the Jets, knowing that the Jets are going to try to go? But I think Sam Darnold, I might give up a first-round pick for Sam Darnold, but I'm not giving up top 20. I'm giving up like a late 25 to 32, somewhere in there, maybe early first round or early second round. And I think that's where it comes down to. Like, yes, Sam Darnold does have potential, but he also has potential to be the bust that You just traded a first-round pick for it. So that's why I kind of think he stays where he's at.
Okay, guys. So then let's continue going with these quarterbacks. Then, so y'all have. Sorry, Mac has Carson Wentz leaving. Where do you have Carson Wentz going?
I have no idea. Just not in Philly. They don't want him. They have a guy that's better than him. They have a guy that they. It's as soon as they bench Carson Wentz, I said, "Oh, he's gone." There's no coming back from that. You remember when Donovan McNabb got benched before he left Philly? There's no coming back from a benching, in my opinion.
See, I'm saying Carson Wentz stays there, but I can tell you who I think takes over the Colts job because that's the hot take for you, right? You want me?
I'm waiting. Give me a hot take.
They're gonna bring in Jimmy G. That's the guy they want. But that's who they're gonna bring in. That's the guy they want.
No, when it was hearing of the Matt Stafford rumors, and I was telling our friend Adam that the Colts should have traded for Matt Stafford mid-season. I figured when it was made public that they're parting ways, that the Colts would have gone all in on Matt Stafford. Because when I look at the rest of this quarterback carousel, with the exception as what Matt mentioned, Dak Prescott, yes, there are a lot of quarterbacks up there, but a lot of them are not good. And for Indy, to me, who should have Super Bowl aspirations with that roster, because that defense is absolutely great. To me, they're just a quarterback away from contending as deep as the AFC is. How do you not go after Matt Stafford? How do you not make a serious push for Matt Stafford unless you're thinking you're going to get Deshaun Watson and they don't see a scenario where the Texans trade within their own division? I love the hot take, Joe, but Jimmy Garoppolo, and sorry, actually have 49ers friends. I'm going to say this on my own show. Jimmy Garoppolo is hot garbage. Hot garbage. Like
trash.
It's absolute trash. Like, y'all mentioned how quickly the Rams turned from Goff after giving him this big contract. That's the same thing in San Francisco. We forget they're less than 4 years removed from giving Jimmy G a lot of guaranteed money, and all of a sudden now they're ready to kick buckets on him. I don't know, Joe. Jimmy G in Indianapolis.
He's 24-8. 24-8 as a starter.
Yeah, but he's also missed probably the same 32 games in his time in San Francisco.
Just 23. Only 23 games in 3 years. It's only 23.
Better sign one hell of a backup.
The reason I say Jimmy G is because if you go back to when they traded DeForest Buckner to the Colts, there's rumor now saying that the Colts kept bugging the 49ers for Jimmy G at that time. So I don't know if they moved on from it, but that's another person that they wanted along with in that trade.
You see Matt Ryan going to the Colts.
Oh, yeah, there's that guy I forgot all about. How can I forget Matt Ryan? So do y'all think that Matt Ryan moves on, although they are bringing another offensive mind to steer the ship? I think Arthur Smith from Tennessee.
I think maybe they'll give it one more year before they blow it up. I personally think they should trade Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and restart.
I feel that way too.
See, I don't think they can trade Matt Ryan. I was trying to look at his contract earlier this morning, and I don't think they can. I think they have to wait one more year on Matt Ryan, which is probably good. Give him a system. But Julio Jones, I think you got to get rid of him. You got to change that up and bring it to a more running game and change Atlanta's offense up, which I think that's why you brought in the coach Arthur Smith from the Texans or the Titans. You know what I mean? So you brought him in to give you a little bit of running game. But yeah, I would say Julio's gone. Matt Ryan stays spot. I know we're really excited, and I know you brought me on the show to do some and we're really excited, and that it's getting thrown out that there could be 18 different quarterback changes. But when it comes down to it, how hard is it to change a franchise? I'm a Raider fan. They've been talking about Derek Carr being out of there for years, and every year I go, who's better than Derek Carr? And there's a list of like maybe 6-7 guys that you would change for him. The rest of them are even with him or worse than him. And it's like, okay, well, I guess we're sticking with Derek Carr again. So when you go and you look at the market, and you could say, yeah, we want to upgrade our quarterback, but once you get to the market and it's either too expensive or it's just not good enough, you just stay put.
I don't know what they've done. I'm going to ask Sean in the chat. I brought Joseph Morley, but they gave me somebody else. I don't know what they've done with Joe Morley. But there is one quarterback that we haven't gotten to, and I purposely saved him for late because this is indeed a Packers show. None other than Aaron Rodgers. We have heard ever since that awful NFC title game, rumors that he could possibly be leaving. What do you think is the fate of Aaron Rodgers, at least for next season?
I think you're absolutely insane if you were to trade Aaron Rodgers if you're the Packers. This is a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the league still.
Hey, Packers show. Hey. No Packers slander.
Top 7 quarterback in the league. Aaron Rodgers is still that guy. He could still go out and win you a championship. He makes the people around him better. He shows no signs of declining. And he is the face of Green Bay. Why in the hell are you going to trade that? Mr. Discount Double Check is staying in Green Bay until that man retires. And if he doesn't, it's because he wants to leave and not because the organization gets rid of him.
Oh, he's on his way out. Let's get him out of Green Bay. Oh, is that what you wanted? Because if if I'm saying he's staying, then I don't know if you wanted some hot takes. Let's get him out of here. No, I've said this on multiple shows. He's staying. Like, this isn't the Brett Favre situation where you know what your backup quarterback. You knew what Aaron Rodgers was. You knew he was going to be a great quarterback coming in, or at least a good quarterback enough where you can move on. Jordan Love is a very big question mark. He was a project coming out of the draft. He didn't get an offseason work. From what I'm sure you read more Packer stuff than I do. From what you've read, it's probably not good. You've heard bad stuff. Sure, he's picking up. I'm sure he'll come in and do all right, but not great. So they can't ship him. They have to keep Aaron Rodgers. When Jordan Love was drafted, you probably said to yourself, we have 2 more years with Aaron Rodgers.
When Jordan Love was drafted, and Neil could tell you this, I probably spoke to no one for the last for a week. And it is not because we drafted a quarterback, because the Brett Favre situation, and I was a Packers fan to see. At least, as you correctly said, this is a guy, Aaron Rodgers was the best player in the draft and just slipped to 24. We always felt that way in our draft board. Hence why we took him at 24 when he fell. When I saw, because let's say for argument's sake, Tua Tagovailoa fell to us at, 20-something or early, 20-something, but we moved up. If it was Tua or it was Justin Herbert, I would have had no problem taking either. I had the pleasure, for lack of a better word, of seeing Jordan Love's final year, or at least some of his final year in college. And I want to tell both of you, Jordan Love is terrible. He had 17 interceptions in his final year in college. 17. I'm not kidding, not exaggerating. I'm not inflating numbers. 17. And as I told people, it is not taking a quarterback in the first round. It's just taking a bad one. And Jordan Love was so terrible. A lot of people on the outside looking in don't know this. Take a guess how many games Jordan Love was active for this season. Just wildly throw a number.
6.
Try, Joe.
I'll say 3.
We played 16 regular season games, and we played 2 playoff games. Jordan Love was active for none of them. Absolutely none of them. The Packers brass quickly realized how bad Jordan Love was, not during the regular season. They realized during whatever mini camps we held, when every single day it was multiple turnovers. And I'm not sure how you look at his tape from college and see 17 interceptions in his final season and thought you're going to get to a higher level and that somehow improve. So yes, guys, I agree with you. Not only does Aaron Rodgers stay on the roster next season, he is going to retire a Packer because we do not have his replacement right now in that quarterback room. Unless Brett Favre is walking about in some sort of pom-poms and trying to trick people that he's younger. Aaron Rodgers' replacement is not in that quarterback room.
If Aaron Rodgers was truly on the board right now, that anybody can go out and get him, could you imagine that trade? We're talking about 2 firsts, 2 seconds. What would Aaron Rodgers bring in? Come on.
4. He's getting 4 firsts immediately.
He's a top 3 quarterback. I don't care what Max says. He's a top 3 quarterback in this league right now. maybe top 2. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I would put above him, but yeah, he could be top 2. I'm not going to argue over that. But
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes won, and let me get to my guy.
I wouldn't put Tom Brady over him.
I wouldn't either.
Well, he's not right now, at least.
So yeah, he's up there. I said this before too. Packer fans got lucky. They got Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers. For the chance for it to happen 3 times in a row, no. So just be happy with Aaron Rodgers. Be happy. I know you don't like it. Be happy losing in those conference championships games because there's a lot of teams that never even get there and wish they could just be in that spot.
Oh, yeah. The Packers, as soon as Aaron Rodgers goes, they're going to be trash for probably a decade or so.
Don't remind me, but because I've had 30 years of excellence. So, yeah, at some point I'm going to have to be like with the rest of the NFL world and understand trash. But
I've waited 18 years for my Super Bowl appearance, okay?
Oh, you are a Buccaneers fan?
Yes, diehard Buccaneers fan.
Oh, congratulations.
Joe was hearing me talk shit and spit numbers out before the season started this year, so...
I mean...
Is a diehard Buccaneers fan that lives in Vegas. Come on. Just come on over to the dark side.
Oh, I immediately, I'm somewhat of a Raiders fan. I check out their games every week. I have to.
No, I'm not a fan of John Gruden. Even though, Joe, I'm going to surprise you to tell you, I have been watching football long enough to know when John Gruden was on our staff under Mike Holmgren. Say it out, tell you, or age me a bit. But yeah, I'm not a fan of John Gruden. So the moment y'all get him out, I can give you some sort of support in the black hole. And speaking of black holes, well, something I don't want to see is the Super Bowl this Sunday. So, guys, we can't, leave the show without talking about it. Who wins the Super Bowl and why? Should we even start with? I can't start with Matt. We know what Matt is going to say. So, yeah, let's go with you, Joe.
I don't want to see it either. I'm a Raider fan. I don't want to see Tom Brady. I don't want to see the Chiefs. I'm with you. I say we just go watch what I don't know what else is on that day. We can find something else.
Is there any basketball on that?
Yeah, we'll just find something else. It's not like it's gonna be an entertainment. I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna side with Mac. Mac's gonna be happy because I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially after the news today of the center being COVID or putting COVID. He might be able to play because he might be able to be in that 5-day window, but he won't be able to practice. So, and the offensive line is already banged up as it is for the Chiefs, and that defensive line is no joke for Tampa Bay. The safeties, the defensive backs, that's a different story. They can get burned. But that front seven of Tampa Bay, I think, is just going to take it to them and be too much for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm going Tampa Bay. Do you want me to give you a score? Because I'm not really good at that.
Yeah, give me a score. Like you know this show already, Joe. You can't come on without a score.
I know, but I said Chiefs 17 last week, and you're going to make fun of me. So
yeah, you will.
You know what? I think I put a thing up earlier on my own page that said that we might be underestimating these defenses. We might not. We might be. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay 27, Chiefs 22. Some weird number like that. How about that?
To quote Tom Brady, you're only giving him 22.
Hey, he's 43. I'm not gonna give him 24. I'll give him 23, 22. You know what? Since it's Tom Brady, I'll give him 23 points. 27-23. Write that down, Neil.
Yes, write it down, Neil. So talk to me, Matt.
So Buccaneers, they're definitely gonna get the win. No, I'm not gonna say definitely. The Chiefs are one hell of a team. Patrick Mahomes is the best in the league. You can never count this guy out. But like Joe tapped on, the offensive line for the Chiefs are banged up. Starting left tackle tears Achilles in the championship game. He's out. Starting right tackle's out. COVID problems along the line. And then when you look on the other side, the big return of Vita Vea for the Buccaneers. This big man, he was out since week 6 of the season. He's an absolute game wrecker.
I wish he was up for the NFC Championship game too.
He came back after missing like 12 weeks, and he played half the snaps. And as you can see, he demands a double team. When you pair him in the middle with Ndamukong Suh, and then you have JPP and Shaq Barrett firing off the edges, it's going to create havoc and wreak havoc for Patrick Mahomes. Is going to crash the pocket, and he's going to be forced to scramble. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is absolutely amazing on the run, but when you throw in the speed of Devin White and Levante David, he's going to get tagged a bunch. The key to this game is how well Patrick Mahomes is going to be protected from his O-line, and I don't think it's going to be that great. I have a final score of 31-27 Buccaneers.
I refuse to predict a winner or a scoreline in this game, a game that I believe I should be in. But so, what I will say, if you are on this show enough, you know that I always say football games are won in the trenches. Too often we talk about stars, and really it is line play that wins football games. And y'all are absolutely correct. There's no starting left tackle in Eric Fisher, no right tackle. There's centers in COVID-19 protocols. And I have seen that front seven twice. Oh my God. And Vita Vea by himself collapses pockets. And there's no worse feeling in a quarterback than getting pressure from right in front of you. Like, it's one thing to bring edge pressure. You can move up in your pocket. But when you collapse a pocket from right in front of you on the center, and as you all said, that center may not even play, that is a problem with Vita Vea. Shaq Barrett, JPP on the outside, and Ndamukong Suh right next to Vita Vea.
That's a nasty defensive line, man.
And those two linebackers may be the worst of the bunch, Devin White and Levante David. Thankfully, they may not play a huge part in the game because those are mainly run stoppers more so than blitzing linebackers. And we all know Kansas City does not want to run the football.
I disagree. Devin White had 9 sacks at the middle linebacker position this year. He gets after the quarterback.
Well, let's throw that out the window. If indeed, if it goes, if it's line play on line play up, and we know, up front, you're going to have to get after Tom. Tom gets the ball out faster than any quarterback I've ever seen. So you're going to have to get pressure quickly. I think it is just too much, and y'all have made mention Patrick Mahomes is great with his feet. He is probably the best quarterback I've ever seen on the move throwing football. And this is a guy that's seen Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers for all their entire career. And I can tell you, this guy is the best on the run. No, it pains me to pick the Bucs, so I won't, because Sunday is just a week. It was just a week away, so no, I'm not doing that. I think we're in a hell of a football game. And if the Chiefs do win, then it just shows me how great Patrick Mahomes really is, because he's going to have to be. I don't think, as in Sunday, you can get a bad Tom Brady showing and still win if you're Tampa Bay. But I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have to be otherworldly for the Chiefs to win this game. So that leads me to my last and final question, guys. Can Patrick Mahomes lose this game and still, legacy-wise, surpass Tom Brady?
Absolutely not. 100% not. Tom Brady's going to his 10th Super Bowl. Mind you, before this guy went to my team, I hated Tom Brady.
I still do.
Absolutely could not stand him because he's so great. All he does is win. 10 Super Bowls. And if he wins this week, not only does he beat the guy that's trying to surpass him, which is very premature at this moment, no matter how good Patrick Mahomes is. We've seen fantastic seasons from Peyton Manning for years and years, and Tom Brady shits on Peyton Manning. If Tom Brady comes out and beats Patrick Mahomes and gets his 7th Super Bowl win, unless Patrick Mahomes wins 8, he will not be better than Tom Brady.
No, Joy brought you on the show as a fellow Tom hater. Do not disappoint. Please do not disappoint, Joe.
I am a big Tom Brady hater, yes. But I'm also a Patrick Mahomes hater. I'm a Raider fan. I got to hate on both of them.
He just hates greatness.
I don't like people winning when it's not the Raiders. I'll say that. That's just like you don't like people winning when it's not the Packers. My thing is, does it hurt him in the greatness? People go if Patrick Mahomes goes on and wins 7 Super Bowls, and are people going to go, well, you lost 1 to Tom Brady? No, that's not going to happen. They're going to go, you won 7 Super Bowls. But what is going to happen is that window is closing. He needs to win this year to keep that pace up, because a lot of people forget, not only did Tom Brady win Super Bowls, he beat the salary cap. He took pay cuts to do it. Patrick Mahomes, as we know, is not taking that pay cut. He did for this year and next year, but in 2022, I think, is when his contract kicks in, and when Kelsey's contract kicks in. That's when we'll see how good he is. That's when. But if he can stack these Super Bowls now, he has a chance of beating Tom Brady and being the best in the game. And like we said, it is early. It is early. We don't know what Patrick Mahomes will be next year, how much tape is going to be out. But the dude is on pace to like shatter records, to kill everything. So, and he didn't play his rookie season. That's what's crazy about it. And so he's doing this. So yes, he has a chance to just knock Tom Brady out of everything, and that's what I like. But
let's be honest, man. Nobody's going to win 7 Super Bowls. Nobody's going to go to 10 Super Bowls. Like Joe said, once that salary cap kicks in and he has to make second, third, and fourth tier players play like superstars, that's when we're really going to see how great Patrick Mahomes is. Because if you put Tom Brady with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill early in his career, he's probably going to be doing the same thing. The thing that made Tom Brady great is he made Deion Branch win the Super Bowl MVP. He made guys around him, Wes Walters, who was a nobody in Miami, and turned him into a potential Hall of Famer. That's what Tom Brady does, and that's what we need to see from Patrick Mahomes.
I have another question. The only question I have is, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't win 7 Super Bowls, and Brady does, but Patrick Mahomes beats him in every other stats and just puts up record stats, can Patrick Mahomes still be the GOAT without winning as many Super Bowls?
For me, yes. I didn't want to comment on this because I'm not in Super Bowl and I'm still bitter. But I think in the situation, given health, I do believe Patrick Mahomes is going to obliterate every single passing record that there is. Like, it's going to wipe them out. If he wins 5, let's say 5, and that's not out of stretch of the imagination, because right now we're seeing as a starter his last 3 years, he is 1 pre-snap penalty away from being in his 3rd straight Super Bowl. If this guy wins 5 with the records he's setting, I can't see a situation, or I can't see why it'll be impossible to say that he's not the greatest of all time. But there are some accomplishments that Brady does have, like being in 10 Super Bowls, as Matt mentioned. That is one hell of achievement, especially in this salary cap era that we're in. And y'all are correct. When that $500 million contract kicks in, and when Travis Kelce's extension kicks in, thankfully, as you said, that they are still signed. All of them are signed together. I think Kelce, Hill, and Mahomes still have a window together of at least the next 3, 4, or 5 years. So I agree with Joe. They're going to have to get it done then. But for argument's sake, let's say he does like Joe Montana, that isn't wins 4 or even wins 5, then I can see a scenario where you say that he's the greatest of all time.
So you think if he goes to 5 and wins 4, that's better than Brady's 6-10 or 7-10? And not to mention what may happen.
Sorry, I had some connectivity issues. Repeat that again. Sorry.
So if Patrick Mahomes, say he wins 4 and goes to 5, right? That's better than Brady going to 10 and winning 6? And would that make him better as the greatest of all time?
It will depend on all the accolades, accomplishments, and stats. Like, he has that heads up, especially if he wins a 7th. These things are subjective, but
there's so much that has to be done for Patrick Mahomes to even be close, because he has to put up all the best stats in the world for 20 years. And then say if he wins 2 Super Bowls and he's like, well, is he better than Peyton Manning? Is he better than Drew Brees? So we got to see those things. But if he wins, I'm talking about, you got to fill up a whole hand of Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, he does.
Tom Brady. That's so hard to do in the NFL that I think it's so prematurely to even have this discussion.
I will agree with there that it's too premature.
Well, I'm always that guy because I'm a hater. They say it in the chat right here. I'm a hater, so I hate championships. To me, doesn't make a great player because we've seen bad players win championship. I'm not saying Tom Brady has won, but it's not all just Tom Brady that won a championship. Yes, they had a great quarterback and a great defense that went and won some of these. So to put all that on Patrick Mahomes and say he can't be the great quarterback unless he wins 5, but say Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs go and they win. They go 14-2. Let's say 16 out of the next 18 seasons, and he's, huh?
That's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, so he does that, but he loses. He loses in the Super Bowl because the defense isn't good, or he didn't have enough to get there, or just bad games, missed field goal here and there. But he breaks everything. He breaks the touchdown records. He breaks the yardage record, every single, and he's the MVP of the league multiple times. Now, I think you could put him up there because the championships might not match it, but his play on the field and his win-loss record would kill everybody else.
All right, so Joe, let me have a caveat to what you just said. Everybody on this planet thinks Tom Brady is the GOAT over Peyton Manning. I'm sure we can all agree.
Yeah.
You just 100% described Peyton Manning in his career. Everything you said describe Peyton Manning perfectly in his situation. And we do not think that he's the GOAT. So I think if that happens again, Peyton Manning broke all the records. He was the best, had the best seasons, all the MVPs, but he only got 2 Super Bowls. So we don't even mention him when you say the GOAT. You mention Tom Brady.
Because I hate Peyton Manning too.
Oh my gosh. But I don't have Peyton Manning second best of all time, by the way, though. I have that for Joe Montana. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's second best all time. Yeah, I mean, it's an argument for the best loser.
Fair enough. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you all too much longer, so I'm going to start here now. Matt, tell us what you have coming up on how can we find you.
Hey, I appreciate you guys watching. It's your boy Mac from Talk Smack with Mac. You can check me out, my podcast, on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. I'm really big on YouTube and Instagram, so make sure you check me out there. I have big things coming. I have a catalog of merchandise, Talk Smack with Mac, everything coming, and a website. Big things are coming in the first quarter of 2021 for Talk Smack with Mac. Make sure you check me out.
What about you, Joe?
Man, I was getting all that Mac information because I love watching him. Like I said, I'm Joe Morley. You guys can find me on YouTube. Instagram is the main thing that I'm on. But I also do a Friday Night Wars on YouTube with my co-host who's in this chat. He's very active in the chat right now with Shawn Michaels. We do Welcome to the War Zone on Wednesday nights, and we do Friday Night Wars on, of course, Friday. So 2 new shows every week. But yeah, I love coming on here because I know I didn't give you what you wanted, but this is also always a fun show.
We love having you on, and I do like both your shows. I'd want to say almost a complete episode of Friday Night Wars. Like, I watched the one with Brian and stuff, and I have to actually go and film an episode with Brian just shortly on his show. But I want to thank you all guys for both coming on. It is a pleasure. Hopefully I'll have you back at some point soon. Hopefully before the Raiders actually ever win a Super Bowl. Again, it's pissing with you, Joe. But for Matt and Joe, I am Justin of This Just In. Thank you guys once again. You all know how to find us here on YouTube on Mondays, and look forward to Thursday. We will do more for our Super Bowl preview with Adam. You know how those lives on Instagram goes. So, again, for Matt, for Joe, I am Justin. We're signing out. Good night, Neil. Well, yeah, good night, Neil. I hope you sign us out before everyone else realizes. Good night, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Neil.
I don't have a mark on my face, and I upset Johnny Lisbon, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, King will matter. You're just the same. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
I said, can I be a legend? Search your soul and answer me this question. Do you think I have what it takes to be great, but still be humble and learn from my mistakes? Shit.